Hello everyone and welcome back. Let's continue our exercise on for loops. Let's look at question number 3. We have a list here. It says use a for loop to print out all the adjacent elements in the list above. So what we need to do in this exercise is print out all the adjacent elements. For instance, the adjacent elements here will be 1 and A, so adjacent to each other, and then it will be A and 2, and then 2 and B, B and C, and so on. So those will be the adjacent elements. Let's look at the solution together. So we can say for, let's say, X in range 1 to length of our list. So X is an element in our list. For X in range 1 to length of this list, we can say our list at the index X minus 1. So that will be the first element, and then the second element or the adjacent element will be list 1 at index X, and we can save this in variables. Let's say the first element and then the element adjacent to it, let's save it in variable second. Then we can simply print out first and second. So to show that they are adjacent, we can print that so that we can get a loop, a tuple. So this is fairly simple. For X in range 1 to length of our list, so this means range 1 to length of our list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in this case. So range 1 to 11. That means this will create a list 1, 2, 3 all the way up to 10, right? Since it's a range. So for X in range, for each individual element in our list, the first element will be list 1 at the index X minus 1. Since we are using a range, the first element, the first index is 1, right? So our list at index first element is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So list 1 at index 0 will give us this, right? Index 0, so 1. So this will be 1, and then list 1 at index X will be X is 1, right? So list 1 at index 1, that will be A. So this will be A. So that's when X is equal to 1, right? So range 1 to 11. So for X in range 1, and then when X is 2, list 1 at index 2 minus 1 will be A, and then list 1 at index 2 will be this element, this number 2. So it will keep calculating that for each of the elements in our list, and we are printing the first and second element. Okay, let's run it. Here we have our tuple with each of the adjacent elements. So if I copy my list, then place it here, we can see that they are adjacent, right? 1A and then A and 2, and then 2 and B, then B and C, C and D, all the way up to 6 and 8. Great. Let's look at question number 4. So question number 4 says, write a program that will count the length of each word in a given string. So this is an example of a string. And it says, and place each word in a separate list. Start out with an empty list and append to each list by using for loops and if statements. Then we have good luck. So the first thing we'll do is we'll use the split method to split each of these words wherever there is a space. So we'll use that, and then we'll calculate the length of each word. For instance, the word right, the length of right is 5, and then this is 1, this is 7, and so on. We'll calculate the length of each word, and then we'll start out by creating an empty list for each of the words. So we can create a list for words containing 3 letters, for words containing 4 letters, and so on. So once we find out the length, we'll append to the appropriate list. So count has 5, so we'll append it to the list for words with length 5, and we'll do that for each of these words. And finally, we'll print out the list of all those specific lengths. Okay, let's look at the solution together. Let's run the cell first. Okay, so we have our string. The next thing we'll do is create empty list to contain all those words, and we'll just save them in variables, let's say 3. So that will contain words with length 3, 4. So we'll do the same, 5, 6, 7. So this list will contain words with their corresponding lengths. And then let's create another one called article to hold words with lengths. So this will be if length is less than 3, for instance. And then let's create another one, rest. So that will be for all the words with lengths greater than 7. Okay, now that we have our empty lists, we can start with our for loop. We can say for word in our string, what did I name it? st, right? Okay, let me copy this, paste it here. So we can say for word in our string st. So we'll use the split method on it. For word in our string that split. So for each of the word, we can say if length of the word, if it's 3, we are using double equal because we are comparing the right and left side. If the length is equal to 3, we'll take the empty list for 3, which is this, and then append that word to it. So 3 that append word. So that specific word will be appended to this list. Elif, if length of the word is equal to 4, we'll append it to the list 4. For that, append the word. So elif length of the word, if it's 5, we'll append it to the 5 list. 5 that append word. If the length of the word is 6, we'll append it to the 6 list. And if the length of the word is equal to 7, if it's 7, we'll append it to the 7 list. 7 that append the word. Now let's take care of words with less than 3 and greater than 7 characters. So elif length of the word is less than 3, we'll append it to the article character, to the article list, article that append the word. For any other condition, we'll append it to the rest list, else rest that append word. Finally, we can display those individual lists by using the print statement. You can say print, let's say words with length is equal to 3. Then we have our list 3. So print words with length is equal to 4. And then the list containing 4 letters. Print words with length is equal to 5. And the list containing 5 letters. 5. Print words with length is equal to 6. Then we can print out the list containing 6 letters. Then print words with length 7, and that will be the 7 list. Print words with length less than 3 will be in the article list, and print rest of the words, and then our list rest. So that will be the program. So let's run it. Okay, we have our list. We have article is not defined. Oh, so this is misspelled article. Let's run it again. Okay, good. Words with length 3. We have that list. Words with length 4. Words with length 5. 6, 7, less than 3, and rest of the words. So this looks good. Another thing we can do is we can include a line break between each of these lists so that it's more readable. So print, let's add some line breaks. Say times 15. Hopefully that works. I'll copy that and then paste it under each print statement. Command V, Command V, enter, Command V. So that way it's more readable. It's easier to distinguish each of this list. Okay, let's run it again. Okay, much better now, right? Words with length 3. So we have those words. These are the words with length 3. Words with length 4. You can check out the list. Words with length 5. And finally we have the rest of the words. So it's much nicer to read and distinguish each list. So to recap what we did, we started by creating an empty list for each of this lengths of words, 3, 4, and so on. And then we used the for loop to check the length of each word in our string, and we placed the word in the appropriate list. And finally we printed out the list and its corresponding words. We use the print statement. And one thing to note is that we place the print statement outside of the for loop. If you place it inside of this for loop, it will be printing all of this every time you check the length. Okay, that's why we printed it outside of the for loop. Great. As an exercise for you, use the same program, and instead of saving a string here, try to prompt a user to enter a string, and then take the prompt message and use this for loop to find out the length of the words that the user enters. Thank you everyone, and we'll look at the last question in the next lecture.